Welcome back to the Adventures of Jonno the PokéManiac. I'm not gonna lie, I had gotten way farther in this amount of time last time. But mainly because I wasn't actively training up and grinding Pokemon on, like... Try to beat this Drowsy myself. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. My mom... I think I've mentioned this before, but my mom has always kind of been very supportive and helping me out. Nice poisoning noodle. And so she's kind of the one who really wanted me to come back home because she's been concerned about my health and both my physical health and my mental health. And it's not been a good time. And I think moving back in with them is going to be good for me. Let's fight some of the trainers. You ready by now? What are they in the oven, kid? Haha! Yeah, you got the jokes. And with the very serious talk of, oh hey! Let's try this. See if we can keep you in here. Uh-oh, horn attack. Yeah, no, we're not doing this. Get in there, Iroh. Alright, just see if we can avoid you getting poisoned. But yeah, it's gonna be nice being back with family. I'm gonna try and get my nephew and I's channel up and running after we failed last time. I think we're gonna do better at trying to figure out what we can do for that channel. Noodle leveled up finally. All right, 28. Oh my God! Look at that attack. No bite yet. Holy crap! It's Nidorino. Here, Atrocitus. Let's get you some free XP. Just don't get poisoned. Thank you. Alright, Iroh, get back in there. Because we attempted a channel, but I never got the footage edited. And I think now that I've got the hang of things, I can try and do it again. I think we just need to figure out the tone, like the tone we're trying to set, and the games we want to play, and all that stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be... We're gonna try a bunch of stuff. Atrocitus, why are you taking so long to level up? Good lord. Too young. The hell are you talking about? I'm 30. 31, technically. But yeah, we'll see if my nephew and I can hack it as a duo. I don't know. I'm new to the Patreon thing, too. I've made my podcast Patreon tier list a la Jim Sterling, because I feel like that's better. I feel like giving people tiers may make sense if you've got a massive fan base, but I feel better giving people the just gates open sort of thing. Just be like, yeah, you're just donate what little or much you can, you know. You don't get specific things for donating. You just, except for helping the show out and then some perks. I don't want you to feel like you're better because you're a higher tier. It just feels like not my jam. I feel like Sterling's model is way better, the tier list model. Just support the show as much or little as you can. Is Rap any better now that you're almost 30 attack points? There we go. Plus a couple of Leers in too. I'll have to try without the Leer. Noodle might actually be pretty viable. But yeah, I want to try and get some Patreon stuff up for my other podcast, but at the same point, like, I don't know what to do because I don't really make I mean, the best I can think is, suggest content for us, but at the same point, like, well, for like the Pokemon one, if you follow the show on social media, you get your name added as an NPC, and I don't want to take that away. I still want that to be the case, but I don't know what all to add for people who support the Patreon. Like, what all do I... Because it's not like we have an artist on staff or anything like that to draw stuff for them. I don't know if we want to try and have them be their NPC in an episode. But then that would be that would become a hassle to try and orchestrate. How's it gonna be against Drowsy? Yeah, we're gonna have to leer a couple times. So yeah, I'm actually gonna have to talk to my co-host and figure out a methodology to try and because like with Overly Sarcastic, it's easier for them because Red can offer artwork for patrons, and for Suede, I would love to be able to donate to Suede and get one of his wife's artworks for the show, or even for my personally. I did donate to Dom at Dominic Noble over at Lost in Adaptation. I did donate to him a while back, and I was able to suggest a movie for him to review. But like, you know, for the Popcorn Junkie podcast, it's a bit easier because you can suggest movies for me to review. But for the Pokemon thing, we're already giving away the whole NPC thing for just people on social media, and then and so I don't want to take that away for the people on social media. I don't know why the peck sound didn't show up that time. That's weird. There it is. So I don't want to take that away from people on social media and give it to people on Patreon. That feels unfair, and I feel like that's a dick move. And so I'm trying to figure out what to give to people on Patreon. And I think once again, the big thing now is that people are not consuming as much podcasts, or I think maybe not a lot of YouTube videos. Maybe more YouTube videos than podcasts, but people are not consuming as much podcasts now that they're stuck at home. I think more people are watching like Netflix or YouTube. But yeah, I'm still trying to get my foot in the door in terms of making Pokemon videos. I'm for the most part releasing content regularly, so I've got that part going for me. It's just a matter of, I would love to do this for a living. It's just a matter of getting my foot in the door, and the fact that most of the people that I follow who are doing this for a living started when they were like in college, and they didn't have to worry about doing it for a living, and then by the time they finished college, they were doing it for a living. So they already had that leg up, and I did actually start just out of college making content back in 2012, and it wasn't until, unfortunately, much later that I actually got the hang of it. Because initially in 2012, I started doing the whole review persona thing, a la Nostalgia Critic, and I wasn't making content regularly, so I started a blog, and then the blog became harder to do, so I couldn't get things uploaded to YouTube because I was doing it wrong. Because there's a whole facet of doing it, and by the time I figured out how to do all that stuff, it just became too much of a hassle. And yeah, so now I'm trying to do this instead. The podcast thing has been going much better because I have a whole network that I work with that I helped found, and then I've been able to do the Living in the Stacks one about reading books. And then the Dungeons and Dragons one with Pokemon has been fantastic because I love that, and I want to play more D&D, and I just love it. And I can't, and so yeah, if you haven't yet, please check that out. We've been having a blast recording that. And let's get Ducks back to the Pokemon Center so we can heal up. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping things start to tick up. But yeah, I've been looking at the analytics lately, and it's just everything's down, especially in June. Things kind of picked up in May, but they all just collapsed downward, and it just is not super great right now. And I think it's just because people are it's not a good time for anybody right now. Even before the protests going on, it was quarantine, and then people waiting for that to finally be over, but people were getting impatient, and now the numbers are all going up again. And then, another police killing another officer killed a man in his custody, and this one was caught on video, and it was just evocative that people were done. I think it was between being pent up and stuck inside, and the fact that it just will not stop. The fact that it just will not stop. People got sick of it. Although you will notice that the Black Lives Matter protesters are much more concerned about wearing their masks and preventing the spread of COVID than the COVID protesters who were much more concerned about getting a goddamn haircut. And I finally got my haircut after quarantine, quarantine, but my haircut was not as important as preventing the spread of a deadly virus. And surprise, surprise, it takes about a week for the virus to gestate, and cases have already spiked because the people over Memorial Day weekend couldn't wait anymore. They just had to have their cookouts and hang out with people and try to make things go back to normal, and no, things aren't. Fact of the matter is, things shouldn't go back to normal. There's no reason for things to go back to normal, because normal wasn't good. I think that's what people mistake about normality. They think, oh, this is normal, but that doesn't make it good. Like, for years, owning black people as property was considered normal. It's just everybody did it. That didn't make it a good thing. It just meant it was accepted, and some things shouldn't be accepted, and some things shouldn't be quote unquote normal. Oh, nice crit. Cops killing people in the street extrajudicially like it's frickin' Judge Dredd out there. 2000 AD comics. That shouldn't be normal. Cops are not executioners, nor should they be. The whole point of 2000 AD was that Judge Dredd was a fascist. It was a criticism of Thatcher-era fascism. God. That's what people forget. And, the big thing now is cops using the Punisher. And it's like, the Punisher is... The whole thing with the Punisher is that he kills people, you assholes. You're civil servants. You're there to make... You should be there to... Quote, you should... Finally got biting. You should be there to maintain order and to not kill people. You bring people in the criminal justice system. You should be the ones to bring people in who are breaking the law, not be the ones who are killing them in the street. But yeah, I mean, we could go on and on about that sort of thing. I've had these conversations with my family, and I've managed to kind of convey my point, which is that the cops ultimately should not be the one, and they agree with. I mean, that's the thing. My mom is more conservative than I am. My dad's more conservative than her, and of course, everybody in my family is more conservative than me because I'm a freaking pinko commie bastard. But But no, my mom is fairly, like, center-right. My dad is much more regular right-wing. And let's take a look at this bite attack. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love it. Oh, Noodle. Oh, Noodle, you're such a good boy. I'm not going to take you anywhere. Okay, so next grind session is going to be Ducks. And I think we're going to use Atrocitus to level up with trainers until I can get him a tackle attack. Yeah, so most of my family, my entire family is going to be more conservative than me just because I'm so far to the left. But we pretty much agree on stuff, and like they'll try to bring Democrats stuff with Democrats into the conversation, and then I'm like, that's not going to do anything for me because I hate them too. You know, it'd be one thing if I was still liberal, but not if I'm full leftist now. I could give two craps about the liberals. And so yeah, it kind of disproves. I don't know how much that disproves horseshoe theory. I've always been more big on fishhook theory. The idea that liberals have more in common with conservatives and specifically alt-right fascists than they do leftists and communists and socialists. And that's why you're more willing to see the Democrats, who are, you know, neoliberals at heart and mostly conservatives, support the much more far right, you know, people, you know, Republicans in Congress, and they'll be they'll do progressive things for performance, but they won't do them to be actually helpful. The only ones I really see, the new members of the new progressives in the Democratic Party, people like AOC, and I love Rashida Tlaib. I think she's phenomenal. Her and Ilhan Omar are just fantastic people, and I love them. And I feel like they're gonna be the one. I feel like we need more people like them in Congress, in terms of like, if the Democratic Party had everyone be on the same board as Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, then maybe the far right conservative blogosphere and media would have a point about like, Democratic Socialist Party, am I right? Instead, but for the majority, like, the party leadership is all a bunch of neoliberal hacks who have much more in common with their conservative counterparts than they do anybody in the progressive movement. So yeah, like, we'll have these political conversations with my family. My nephew hates it. He hates getting into politics. He hates talking politics. But my dad, my mom, and I will talk politics all the time, and I managed to kind of help them understand my point of view, and we managed to see pretty much eye to eye on everything. So I mean, like, without that veneer of team playing that we have to play on teams, I think people can have these conversations and be able to oh, god damn it, Ducks. Let's get you out of there. Can we get you out of there? Are you free yet? Okay, let's get you out of there. Noodle, finish him off. Finish him off with your new, powerful, almighty bite attack. Nicely done. Oh, I love it. So yeah, we're just able to have these conversations and it be interesting and, not, like, we don't get all that heated. Like, my dad will be able to push my buttons, but I can push his buttons just as much about it. And he's always had that little troll streak going for him. He, when he was my age and a little bit older, he would go over to his dad, who was like a union, old school, greatest generation union era Democrat, and he would go in there with his Reagan era conservative politics and push his dad's buttons all the time. And we were able to do the same thing back and forth, but we actually have really interesting conversations. And we're able to kind of see each other eye to eye, even though we don't, like, agree 100%. Good lord, Thormouse, wake up! You're getting hit by bubbles, thank you! So yeah, it's gonna be interesting moving back home, because we're gonna have those conversations a lot more often, I feel like, because they're gonna be in such close proximity to each other. But, yeah, I think with everything going on, it's gonna be wild. And yeah, people are just not as, nor should they be, really. They shouldn't be concerning themselves with a YouTuber playing Pokemons for the 8 people who actually subscribe to this channel. That maybe they actually see it but I doubt it, because freaking YouTube decides to hide things through algorithms. God help me God help me to get any traction on this hell site. But yeah, I guess at the same time, it's nice to just have a reprieve as well. Taking breaks when you come home. There's that 15. Holy cow! Look at that speed. Trocidus is a fast boy. He's a fasty boy. Atcha! Don't go my way. Look at them uns. Alright, let me get back to the Pokemon Center and heal up. See if we can get, oh, that's the big thing. I didn't check his speed. I was so thrown off by speed, I didn't even see his attack power. That's gonna be the big thing. Actually kind of good, because if Alex is right and the same thing applies for, if Alex Fasciani, and I talked about this in a previous episode, how using XP razors like rare candies is able to get you the level up, but not the EVs. I think the EVs, because the IVs are built in. Yeah, there's the problem. 12 attack. Ah, boy. Oh, buddy. You're just not gonna be any good to me. Same thing same as like having an Abra on the team. Ah, well. But we're gonna raise up Ducks some more next time. Yeah, so next episode, God, I feel like I didn't get anything accomplished this time around, whereas last time I was just already set to go on to the SSN. I didn't do so much grinding, but I guess because I went back, I did go back and get a Rattata, and I did grind up a bit for him, but I didn't have to grind more than one Pokemon. I think that's the difference here, is that I decided to go get Noodle here, and look at my Noodle. Look at my Noodle. He's such a good snack. Noodle's a good snack. So yeah, we're gonna keep things going with Ducks and Noodle, and hopefully we get a Trocidus ready. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to really use him for the next couple of gyms, but we'll see what happens. So that about does it for the Adventures of Jonno the PokéManiac this time. Tune in next time, where we're going to be doing some more grinding, and hopefully it won't take too long to fight Lieutenant Surge. So we'll see you then, folks.